So as you can see, the AL language is now enabled in Visual Studio Code. I also like to make sure that the Windows Defender is not constantly working on and checking the files in my workspace. I like to place all my Git files in the workspace folder. Since we have already built our Docker container, we can update or create the AL folder structure inside our repository based on the container already being we can see our launch.json and app.json being created. The content of the app.json is based on the setup.json file. So when we have the AL structure, we should be able to reopen Visual Studio Code in the AL folder. Closing the old one, we now have an AL workspace to work with, and we can create our first AL file. We see that immediately Visual Studio Code realizes this is an AL project and offers us to download the symbols from the container. So let's start coding. The classic version is to extend the customer list and just bringing up one message. So we add a trigger to the onOpenPage action. And from there we simply display a message. We need to make sure that we have both a name and a publisher in the app.json. And since we are working with the customer list, let's make sure that our web client starts with that page. Now everything should be ready. Let's press F5. As you can see on the host name, we are running the web client from our container. And we have successfully installed our first extension. So what's next? Let's make sure our extension makes it to the source control. We can decide that we don't want the application files in our repository. So we can just ignore them. We might also want to ignore our extension application file as well, since we might need to build that whenever we are working on it. We can also look at the files that we are staging and do a little housekeeping on them if we want to. So whenever the files are ready to be published to our Git server, we can type our commit message and stage all the files that we want to commit. In this case, I want to make sure that the git ignore file does not make it to the server. So I push it down from stage changes to changes before committing. After committing, I synchronize everything with the server, and I should now have my new extension ready enabled in GitHub. And to prove my point, let's open my GitHub page. There you can see the AL folder, and inside the AL folder we can see our code. There we go.